often you hear people say cut your coat according to your size. But I said it's wrong because it's not really about your size, but by the material we get. If the material and necktie no way for do for, sew necktie. And so it's about recoding. It's about living your life by a standard that is recorded by yourself. Not to waiting salon say, not to waiting your grandpa say. No, it's recording your life. And that's what you have to do to get to the point, get to, you want to change this world, you have to start first with yourself.
This is the JAB Show, and it's your life by design.
This is the JAB Show, and it's your life by design. Yes, life, like how God make him, life like how also you shape him. Now you and God, and in love. Now shape this life. So you want when I God for do for you? Left and I the one when you for do for yourself. Not left and God, because there's nothing God will do for help you. I hosted somebody, who would come into the big podcast where they come. I hosted somebody where Afimoni CEO, and he said, he said Jesus came against the dead and healed the sick. He healed the sick and against the dead. He said, but he didn't come for the stupid. If you are stupid, you are on your own. And so you would have that being played for you. But let's do something. I want to just reflect on something we shared when we talked about the code of the extraordinary mind. The 4 stages that people go through in their life, from the victimhood stage to an awakening where you are aware that no, I have power, I have dominion, I have authority, I have agency over my life. Me not a victim to nothing, to nobody in our life. Once you reach another level, then level 2, and push you go to another level 3 where you recode your life. You recode your life now, like programming. You program your life now, and with your own thoughts and with your own, almost like your own gospel, almost like your own principles when you live in a life. Once you do that recording, waiting to happen. This is where you go now and says it's no longer self about you. How do I shape lives? You get a world that you can change. So I want to just share a couple of stories about how things and possibly if you're going through similar things, how you would move to the level where you're no longer a victim. Once you get the awakening, you can recode your life. Principles that you're going to live by. I'll give it a couple. Now, how did I go back to school? So somehow we don't reach the level in your life where you almost don't give up. Things say you get the discipline again for the one. I don't put my story boku, but the beauty is each time I tell the story, somebody's listening to it for the first time. When I dropped out of school, after my first O levels now, but academy, I went to the Muslim Congress. I took the results. The instead of do I go na high school, Methodist Boys High School. I do 1 year young BM because instead of no workout, So I said, okay, let me take leave first. I go to government and I begin working at government. I was being paid, 300 million a month. I took 300,000 euros. No, not 300 million. 1987. Now, I see me party the room and they go to school together at the iPad, and then something happened. Once this awakening we talk about happening, 21st March 1989, I decided I was going to go back to school. It was crazy. I don't even get person for pay for me. My parents are not even getting money for pay for me for go to school. I decided I was going to go back to school. The discipline where I nurture, where I master, to go back. I guess my friends say hold on it together for 12 years. And all they play together and we all do everything in common together. I had to now have the discipline not to go sit down with them. What's I go sit down and pray over? But the time when we go sit down and pray over, I've been go sit down now, they study, they read me book back because I was ready to fight again. Somebody took me to, the month for Kemi when I meet in my guy college of, then going at MMTU now, and I was going to read English and French, whatever that combination is, because I didn't even have mathematics, and I said, no, give me a one for read accounting, and say, no, they don't for that. And Kemi go to one gentleman, and we have been teaching on blessed memory, and he said to me, you don't need for going to meet my guy. If you go sit your O levels back, if you pass, I will make sure you go for the college. That was his deal to me. I fold my sleeve and I rolled up everything. And like I said, the most important point, I created a part of my life that was non-existent to be non-disappear. I knew I was going to go back to school. My priorities were aligned. I dig me head for study. They tell me company and nobody had to tell me again. Even my parents said not be need for talk again. They tell me when they dinner streets and then I put you back. They fetch with woman there. I dig me head to study. That is how I created the genius, call am genius, and I owe no apology to anybody. I'm unique and special, but it was created by specific deliberate actions that I took in my life. You can also do that for yourself. Recoding the take place, you recode. Let's give another example. I recorded my academics. But let's give another example about, we were getting ready to get married, myself and my elder brother. And we did something where nothing can remember. I don't know if anybody knows about. We said we're going to have now recording a different way of thinking. We're going to get wedded the same day. We did 3 years apart. He's older than me for 3 years. We said we're going to get wedded the same day. Recording. I know they want him in life, but by any state or standard that anybody sets in this world. No. I'm recording. I recorded my life. So same day. My brother go na wedding, 1 o'clock, then come out 3 o'clock, me go na 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then go 11 o'clock, come out 1 o'clock, me go 1 o'clock, we come out 3 o'clock. Now, half of my brother and party there and me party there. Why get 2 weddings? It's not simple stuff. Why get 2 weddings? Now, the same wedding cake, 1 green cake, 9 in cut. He cut cake, Christian cut. Bridesmaid cut, you bridesmaid, married. Recording. I talked about even the project we've been getting 10 a day. The ringo where we wear for we wedding, that 10 day. Now Guinea, Badina markets are Guinea Narubaya, plated. Guinea. By the time they marry the dawn, the sweat don't open the thing, the ring don't fade down. Who cares? It's a recorded life. Often you hear people say cut your coat according to your size. But I said it's wrong because it's not really about your size, but by the material you get. If the material and necktie know what you for do for, sew necktie. And so it's about recording. It's about living your life by a standard that is recorded by yourself. Not to waiting salon say, not to waiting your grandpa say. No, it's recording your life. I recorded my life. And that's what you have to do to get to the point, you want to change this world, you have to start first with yourself. We recorded that. We did everything about that wedding. It was so unique. You've never heard of it. You say, well, now, because I've been poor. Well, yes, we've been poor, but I made sure we don't stretch ourselves beyond which we be supposed to stretch yourself at all. Recording our lives. That's how we could get to the point where now, I can buy the ring where you heard from, I can buy it 16,000 times. But at that point in time, it was something that was unheard of. And will not be go broke anybody in back for the waiting we needed to do. Because you can recode your life and become extraordinary.
This is the JB Show, and it's your life by design.
Join our community today by subscribing to the JB Show on YouTube. Don't forget to like and turn on your notifications so that you never get to miss an update. All it takes is a click.
Long before roads or rails, before signals filled the sky, there was Rokel, the river that connected us all. This basket bought food, paid school fees, it raised children, and carried dreams. It held the economy in palm and straw. It brings power to our homes, food to our markets, and unity to our journey. This is the rhythm of Sierra Leone, from hand to hand, from shore to shore. But now that rhythm has evolved. Now the basket carries more. RCB SIM Cooper, for sending money from any phone. RCB Prepaid, for anyone, no account needed. RCB Cooper Card, your local power. RCB Visa, global reach in your wallet. Just like the river, your money can move freely across towns, borders, and time. From the village to the vault, the banker sees it all. One transaction, one river, move seamlessly. This is more than banking. This is Rokel, Commercial Bank, bank of choice.
Here's how to buy data for another AfriCell number with AfriMoney. Dial *161 *3 *2 hash. Select the data bundle option you wish to buy. It could be daily, weekly, monthly, or long validity. Choose the data bundle from the options listed. Press 2 to buy for another number. Enter the number. Press 1 to choose your main wallet. Enter your PIN to confirm payment. AfriMoney, quick and easy.
This is the JB Show, and it's your life by design.
So I left you going away and talking about wedding, that we did, crazy wedding. We've been together for more than 3 decades. 3 decades. So 3 decades. Someone spent 100 million for my ring alone, and it might take 3 months. It lasted for 3 months. Recorded, and I'll give one last example of recording will take place in my life. And I'm here for with the areas of girls. Now, you may not believe it, you may not know it. So if you don't see some photos of me online, where I play musical instruments, accordion. We were at the top in the kingdom of the blind and said they were I'm a king. We were the best people in the National Pentecostal Church for accordion, for play music, for songs. Beautiful stuff that we did. And I think say na player na Emerson which in player, I say na basset player, and then but inside say a basset player na problem because the girl they say play the basset player. Now so there were girls around me, maybe half a dozen. Not to extent things that I'm proud to talk about, but I'm making it real because some of us might be going through those complications. You can recode your life. You don't have to be a victim of the value system that you meet in your community. That if you don't get 4 5, means you're nothing. No, it's a value system that you don't have to be involved in. And so what happened once I got this transformation? I think I said it starts with an awakening where I'm no longer a victim. I shaped every area of my life, not just the discipline for which you don't study, going back to school. There was a spiritual stuff that happened. There was an academic, educational stuff that happened. But even the moral side of my life had to be aligned with the faith that I confessed. And so I looked at all the guns that were made, and I did my calculation. I can jokingly, each time I talk about this, I say I jokingly I did board maths, bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. I looked at all the girls and analyzed them, and then chose one. With my wife now. Once I decided it was this person, it was this. I had to now deliberately go around. Well, get me strategy for make sure say all the other girls then should know not to them any longer. But why bother? Why bother for do this? I'm just saying you can record every aspect of your life. To get to the point where you could charge and shape and become a one that you can change, you could record. You have to. So once I discovered this was my wife, once I made it clear this was my who is the one that I've chosen, I had to let all the other ones know it's no longer them. I was no longer going to be available for them. It was tough. It was difficult. But I was, blazingly determined to make sure that happened. So I stopped being available. I stopped going outside in the room. I stopped going where if I did go and only go alone, I make sure I constantly with me, the fiancé then, and said this not him. So one time, obviously, the other guy, the other time, the one on the campus around me, he say, now, and bag now. That's not to unbag now, wallet. If not unbag, you put on now. How old was I then telling you? 22, 23. This was Chris. No, not Chris. The recording started there. It's about discipline. How much of beautiful women would you see? No, the day we come out married, they say somebody, the day we come out married, say, we assume I would for fine part your wealth. And so if not for fine, you get problem. And so it's a recording that took place. So systematically, the handbag, no, not to handbag now wallet. If now handbag ways, you put on the wallet, then I pocket. And so I made sure she was there all the time, everywhere I go. And why? Because I'm for the all the other girl there. You know, the other one, it's so great, and I can be missing in order for be substitute to not ever get chance for play. And so therefore, make I get me photo, and me get photo, me get watch, me give me electronics watch, then silver electronics watch. Now I say, and once you watch, my get watch. And once you watch, make I get watch. And watch me then and so now pull a quick one and now pull up and now pull the watch again. Now I say no in photo, then with one bowl where we put fire always said, and I said then I was if you go to my sister then they go give you and they cool they laugh now studio. I said go meet my sister then they go give you. How old was I? How old was I? 22, 23. Grace? No, you can. It's a process you go through to recode. You no longer live by the values of this world, the dictates of this world. You live by a standard that is set by where you're going. You can recode your life, and that's essentially what took place in my life. I recoded my life. In every way matter, I recoded my life and built a new go to the history of Sierra Leone. 62 already first as a country. There was never, you don't get Joseph. You get Joseph, you get Abbas, you get Bangoa. Then three him say they don't combine back with people. But I am the first Joe Abbas. I created this brand because it's possible to come for a victim, awareness, recoding, and build a life that will shape nations. You can do that. And that's the challenge I want to do constantly with the show. It's a JB show and it's your life by design. It can't. That's the way God make you. That's the way. That's how God make you for become. And so you have to push. You have to believe and try and apply this. And like I said, it's a journey. Not to like say I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. So I said by all means I became all things to all men so that I might by all means save some. So whoever God said I'm a part for influence, I hope that one day you would look back at your life and say, I had again waiting Joe ever said I did it, then this is what happened to my life. I hope we could share that story for you. Do you want to share that story? It's always such a hard to know story. But I believe for you. I'm praying. This is not just a physical tool, it's a spiritual stuff. This is a ministry for me. Touching lives, shaping lives, getting more and more people for believing the power we God give them. That they could channel that power for good, for recode their life, and give me a country, a world that we can shape and that we can change.
This is the JB Show, and it's your life by design.